All right, welcome back to the show. UFC Fight Night, HOLM versus MAYRA Bueno Silva. Coming off of a great week last week, MadLab. Let's do a little recap and tell the guys about the new little merger that we just did, which we're really excited about.
Cheers,
but first,
cheers.
let's talk about Mexico, man.
Cheers, cheers, everybody that followed. Dan, Hangman Hooker.
That was a nice one.
Coming
nice
through
call.
in the clutch. We also had Pantoja as a dog, another guy who, bro.
And how about Ruthless?
And Ruthless. So we had three dogs that people were on Pantoja a little bit, but nobody was on Hooker. Nobody was on Robbie Lawler.
I don't understand. Hooker, I get.
I don't get that.
Well, I do. Listen, I know why we picked Hooker and why you picked Hooker. I know why. I can understand. People were high on Jalen Turner with the power. Lawler, though, I expected more people because Nico Price isn't anything special. Sure, he could be a tough guy, but, man, the way that went down was pretty crazy too, right?
How about the conspiracy theories?
I stop it with the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, one guy said they had the, what did he say? He goes, they had the what is it called, laid out already, the film. And I was like, bro, when you go to like the NFC and AFC championship game, like, what do you think? They go out and print the hats 5 minutes after the game?
But why doesn't anybody get about like when you hit like right behind the ear over there?
They don't understand.
You've seen but I mean anybody who watches fights, you've seen a lot of knockouts where people get hit.
That's the shot that you don't need a lot of pressure.
Not that hard, but just get caught in. It's almost like getting caught in the right part of the liver. That part right there behind the ear where like it just knocks you out.
That's the temporal lobe. That's where your memory and your auditory system is banked.
And he caught him, and that was it. But, you know, as far as our members, I mean, we had a
smash.
I mean, we smashed DFS especially because, you know, obviously Hooker, Lawler, and Pantoja were all sub 8,000 guys. So you were able to fit guys like Bo Nickel in your lineup and guys like Sayman, in your lineup and the guys that crushed, you know.
What about Whitaker?
That was the only blemish. I think we almost picked every right side except for Whitaker, which was probably the one that I was the most confident about.
I mean, we knew it wasn't a good DraftKings play, though. We did emphasize that.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't had a knockout since 2017. But, bro, like, one of the guys out here said it perfectly. Dricus du Plessis is the worst fighter
I've ever seen. The best.
Right now in the UFC.
I know. But I tell you, after Adesanya came in the ring and he acted like a fool out there, which, by the way, guys, if I didn't say it before, just subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Like, comment, hit the bell notification. We're trying to grow the channel, obviously, like everybody else is on YouTube. We appreciate the support. But Adesanya must have been tuned up. He must have been liquored up.
Well, I told you when they had a video of him with Kelvin Gastelum.
He
was like hugging him, kissing him. I was like, dude, he's on the booze. He's on the bottle.
You know what though? You're a champion. You have a lot of kids looking up to you. You're on your pay-per-view. You come in there saying this and that and the N-word, this and that. He looked like a fool. And I like Adesanya for the most part. That really just turned me off so bad.
Because it was like over and over and over and over.
Yeah, what's up, dude? Like I can't believe he acted like that, made a fool of himself.
You're my bro. And then when du Plessis would get in his face, he was like, no, you're my brother. You're my.
And then du Plessis afterwards said, he was like, you know, he's like, I can't believe that guy acted like that. Like he said all the right things. So as much as I don't like du Plessis, like I almost wanted him to beat Adesanya. I don't think it's gonna happen. No. I also didn't think he was gonna beat Whitaker.
He's not beating Adesanya.
Hey, bro.
Not being Adesanya.
You said those exact words about
No. Because I said about Whitaker, I said he beats Whitaker if he gets old overnight. He comes or he catches him, and he caught him. He is not catching.
He caught him with like a jab.
But here's the thing. This is another thing that aggravates me about. Like some of the people were commenting on the other video when I said he caught him. They're like, why can't you give him credit? The guy in his own interview said that he caught him. He's like, I don't even know what I hit him with. He's like, I literally hit him, and I looked behind me, and he goes, and his hand was on the ground, and then I attacked him. He's like, I don't even really know until he was down that I.
It was weird because it wasn't like
he walked into a really stiff jab. It looked like.
It was like it's the fight game. You get hit in the
so he did get caught. 7 out of 10 times Whitaker wins that fight. 7 out of 10. You would think, but he's not beating his.
The worst fighter I've ever seen.
I hope everybody piles in on du Plessis.
Kid won 8 in a row, man. You can't take it away from him.
I hope they pile in on him and just load that line.
You can't take it away from him, though. He got past another big
test. I give him credit. I give him huge credit.
He did. All right. So before we go on to this card, big announcement that we had working on this for the last 2 months. You know, we have a great relationship with the guys over at RPS, Run Pure Sports. They're known as one of the best DFS and wager content providers in the industry. You know, a lot of our subscribers do use their content for other sports like NFL and baseball, basketball, and everything else. So we've been talking to them about, hey, you know, you guys know we're the premier MMA content. We know you guys are the premier content for a lot of other sports. Why don't we do a little merger, a little deal? Not a merger, but let's do a little deal together, and let's give your subs, your members, the best MMA content, and in return, we want to give our members the best NFL content, right? Because we love their NFL playbooks, and we worked out a nice deal. So we have a nice 6-month deal. It's going to run through NFL. We're going to be providing DFS content for MMA over to RPS. They're going to provide us with football content for our members, so it's a win-win all around. We're going to be doing a weekly show with, MadLab. Going to do a weekly show with the RPS guys, and you know, it's going to be a fun little thing. It's going to have us get some exposure to their guys, and their guys get exposure to us, and they're good guys too. We did a bunch of calls with them, man. They're like our kind of guys, the kind of guys we want to do business with. Good people. We only do business with good people who have ethics, people who are cool and talk like us, and those are the kind of guys they are. So, you know, thanks Big T, and Showdown helped put this together.
Showdown was a very intricate part of this.
Instrumental piece was Showdown bringing it together, and then we talked to Big T and AP and Nick, and like I said, a bunch of good.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Good crew over there.
We started this 2 years ago, me and Anthony, and the one thing that we always said was, you always talk about down the road, down the road, down the road. That was the first thing we said. Down the road, I would love to extend this into football, because we were the first combat sports only site.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it was like, then we started doing a little NASCAR, and I got a couple people following, and you know, and then, but I would do NFL, which I'm going to continue to do my NFL content, but I'm stretched, you know what I mean? So I figured, let's bring a product in and own the weekend. So now you guys are getting the best MMA content, and we're also bringing to our site the best NFL content. So the MadLabMMA.com now kind of owns the weekend.
And we've also been trying to put a real emphasis on boxing too, because there's been a lot of big boxing fights coming up. So, you know, you members should see we've been trying to put some leans and wagers on the boxing fights too, and putting out content for boxing. We got some big fights coming up, especially Spence Crawford right around the corner.
2 weeks.
Canelo Charlo.
Yep.
A couple other fights coming up too. But yeah, boxing's been good lately. And then, I mean, do you want to even bring up Ngannou and Tyson Fury? I didn't see what you said, by the way, about those special.
Somebody tweeted. Listen, I don't think you could put that in a contract.
I don't think you could put a championship.
That's like a gentleman's bet.
Yeah, maybe you say, hey, we're gonna. Yeah, maybe a gentleman. Like, hey, but listen, let's make sure we're in the center duking it out.
Because I did see it on a reputable source. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say his name. I don't know if it was Aaron Bronson, but it was someone who said, like, he agreed to say. He was talking about the contract, and he says he agreed to stand in the middle and trade for the fight. And I'm like, well, that's not boxing then. If that's what you're gonna do, if you're gonna stand in the middle and trade. That's just a gentleman's
agreement.
So if he does that, to me, that's absolutely maniacal and stupid. You know, especially if you're representing boxing, you want to kind of showcase on this guy and show him that he's not a boxer. But if you're going to stay in the trade with him like Rock and Sock'em Robots, then
that ain't going to happen either. Listen,
not gonna happen.
If you're a real boxing fan and you know boxing and you also watch MMA, like, please don't even think there's a chance.
Do it. He's going to do it.
Yeah, like Robin Black. Don't even think that there's a shot that a boxer like Fury would lose to a guy like Ngannou. You know, this is like the whole McGregor Mayweather thing all over.
Or he'll get knocked out, and then you'll hear this. He won a round.
And let me tell you something. If the line is anywhere minus 300
I'm
or
killing
better,
it.
I mean, I'll throw 5-10 units on it.
I'll
lay that wood all day long.
I'll ride that to the fucking cows come home.
There is no chance. And you know, they'll try to keep it entertaining.
I'm gonna be interested in seeing how the line moves with a lot of the MMA fans.
I want to, you know, did it come out yet? The opening line?
Let me check.
I mean, it's official. It should be. I didn't even think about looking today, but there's just no way. You know, I could see them making it entertaining for a couple of rounds. Ngannou gassing out by the third round, and then I could see Fury finishing him by like fifth, sixth round, toying with him, jabbing him to death. Ngannou having no answer, winded, breathing like a gorilla, and that's all I'm going to say. And there's no way. Opening lines, tell me, please. It's probably going to be minus 600. There's no way.
I think if it's minus 600, it's actually disrespectful to Tyson Fury. It's minus 400 right now.
That's going to get worse and worse. I might just lay some wood on it now.
Minus 400?
Yeah, you know, I knew it was going to come out like that, and then it'll get worse and worse. I'm gonna lay something on it right after this. I don't even care. I'll lay a couple thousand on that.
Minus 400 right now.
even
Tyson Fury comes into this fight as a minus 400 favorite. He should be a minus. Dude, think about this. They gave Bo Nickel a minus 2,500.
Yeah, Bo Nickel.
And they're giving in
an MMA fight where there's really a puncher's chance. Like, there's not a lot of puncher's chances when it comes to stuff like that. I don't care what you think. Ngannou's power is not a boxer.
Wow, dude, I'm actually blown away by that, bro.
I'm not.
But that's the opening odds. That's not people moving it yet.
Yeah, it's gonna end up minus 800. Wow. That's why right now, if you're gonna do it, time to do it right now.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm gonna wait a little bit.
I'm not waiting nothing. Okay. All right, let's go. We got Holly Holm, the ageless Holly Holm, tough fight against MAYRA Bueno Silva. Holly Holm, you know, she had some big wins. She beat Aldana. She lost to Caitlin Vieira. That was the loss she had. But before that, she looked tremendous against Pennington, Aldana. Then looked good against Santos. I mean, Brenda Silva's tough, but I don't think she's Holly Holm tough. I know she's 41. I know you could just have that one day where all of a sudden you age overnight. But I think with her training, I think her physiques looked better than ever. I don't think that's her yet. I think she's still got some gas in her. And I like Holly Holm against a tough Bueno Silva, but I do like Holly Holm by decision.
Yeah, I when you think about these aging fighters, like 41 years old, 40 years old, you got to look at their track record. You got to look at their genetic code and kind of where they came from. This is a girl who just didn't come into the UFC, beat Ronda Rousey, and everybody's like, oh my God, who's this Holly Holm? Holly Holm is one of the most established female boxers in history. She's in the Hall of Fame for boxing. She's held multiple titles, 18 world championships she's won in boxing. Like, this girl is a lifer in fitness and in combat sports. She takes care of her body. She eats well. She does all the right things. And just genetically, she's wound together. I mean, perfectly. I mean, her body has not changed in 10 years. I mean, she looks...
I remember even the last fight, my wife was in the kitchen. She's like, who is this? Like, I know that name, Holmes. She's like, isn't she older?
Yeah.
She looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Look at that body. I know.
Genetically, some people are not predisposed to aging fast. You know, and she's one. She hasn't taken a ton of damage.
And she looks like she's on Adderall. When she gets in the ring, she just paces back and forth. She looks like she's on Adderall or something.
The problem with her, the only problem I've ever had with her is sometimes that she fights down or up to the level. So if, like, you bring a very slow pace, she'll bring a very slow pace. She never kind of just, like, leads the guard, you know. But, you know, Bueno Silva, she's tough on the ground, but I just don't see where people are looking at her like she should win this fight. Like, Holly Holm should absolutely win this fight. At 41 years old, if there's a little bit of a downtick or she comes in a little lackadaisical or she's not taking it serious, or then yeah. But as far as if you even look at her striking, there's no question that the striking is she'll make Bueno Silva look rudimentary in there. And on the ground, she's got very good wrestling, very good side control. So Bueno Silva on her back isn't going to be easy for her to get her hips loose. The only way Silva wins this fight is if she gets on top of Holm and she could work from there. But I got Holly Holm. Not a finisher, never was a finisher. Nah. She's very strategic. So I'm going Holly Holm by decision as well.
Probably a good prop right there. If it's
plus 110 right now.
That's not bad. I like that.
5 rounds, though. When you got 5 rounds to work, it gives it.
That's tricky.
Yeah.
You get that fourth round stoppage. All right, next fight on the card, we're going to go with McKinney versus I can't even say this guy's name. Sadikov. I don't know much about Sadikov. I know he has a 2-fight winning streak in the UFC, but he's the favorite here. You know, McKinney, man. McKinney came in hot. Remember, he had those big knockouts against Ziaman Favola really quick. Everybody was high on him, and then Dober starched him. Everybody tailed back. Came back, beat Gonzalez, then Bonfim starched him. So
what a combination, bro! Knock his mouthpiece out, and then the flying knee.
I remember. Yeah. And you know, so people kind of cooled their temper on McKinney. I still like McKinney. He's a slight dog here at plus 120, and just for the pure knowledge that I don't know much about Sadikov, I like McKinney, and he's one loss. I think it's time for a win. I'm going McKinney by second round knockout.
Wow, all right.
Okay.
Because if he does win, that's the way I have him winning.
Me too.
By knockout. But I don't think he's winning. I'm going the other way. But a lot of people, he's going to be one of the more popular underdog picks
alone, he's
on the
card.
card.
High on DFS owned, right?
Yeah, he's going to be high. Well, but he's a legitimate live dog. I mean, the kid's super athletic. The kid's got a lot of power. Kid's got good wrestling. Here's my problem with him. My problem with him was in the Bonfim fight. If you watch that Bonfim fight, there's certain guys that can go into the fire and face adversity, and there's certain guys that shy away from it. If you watch that exchange in the Bonfim fight, he shied away from it. The mouthpiece got knocked out. You could see in his face that he kind of succumbed to the pressure. And if you look when Bonfim threw that flying knee, like he kind of squinted his eyes. He threw a haymaker to say like, all right, this is do or die now. Dipped his head and got he didn't strategically try to fight out of the situation. He kind of just succumbed to the pressure. When you fight a guy like Sadikov who is constantly pushing forward, he got dropped by Evan Elder. He gets up, he's continuously pushing forward. Can he be dropped? Yes. But he's a guy who's going to constantly mirror you. He's constantly going to pressure you. If you clip him on the chin, which is suspect, you can obviously have him in the way you want him. But Terrence McKinney's a good athlete. He's going to be able to do things to him when he's leading the charge. But if Sadikov starts backing him up, puts him into trouble, I haven't seen that thing with McKinney and Bonfim bothered me. The way he just kind of succumbed to that. It was almost like he knew it was over. It was like the end was coming. Sadikov training over in New York with Sarah Longo. They got all the guys they got all championship medal over there. I like the kid. I think it's a super close fight.
Aljo over there, Marab.
I think McKinney is a super live dog, but he's coming off a bad knockout, in his last fight, and Sadikov does hit with some torch. So I'm going the other way. I'm going Sadikov by knockout in this one.
All right, you got it. You got Norma Dumont versus Chelsea Chandler. I keep wanting to say Chelsea.
I say it all the time, yeah.
I keep wanting to say Chelsea Handler. I saw Chelsea Handler with my wife live at Irvine Improv about a year ago. She was terrible. I wouldn't recommend going to see her. She was.
She's dirty, right?
She was dirty, but then apparently afterwards it came out that she was on some substance at that time, and now my wife saw her again on TV, and she seemed a lot better. But she was,
who was the worst comedian?
Terrible when I saw her.
You know who was the worst comedian I ever saw live? That I actually walked out of the show in Montclair. I went to see who's the guy from? He was in Full House.
John Stamos?
No, maybe not Full House. He was this
Bob Saget?
Yes, dude.
He's dead now, right?
I don't know, but I heard so many things about this guy that he was like this real dirty comedian. So I saw him online one day, and I was like, oh my God, he's playing in Montclair this week. And I got the tickets, bro. The person I was with, and half of the place walked out halfway through.
He was that bad.
He was horrendous.
He was a drug addict.
I'm wondering if he was on drugs then.
Yeah, and was that Full? Yeah, it was Full House.
Was it Full House?
Yeah, Bob Saget, Full House. All right, back to the fights. All right, Norma Dumont. She won 4 of her last 5. She beat your girl Aspen Ladd, lost to Macy Chiesa, beat Cara Rosa. Fighting Chelsea Chandler. Chandler being a slight dog here. Chandler having one fight in the UFC, a victory over Stolyarenko. Norma Dumont has better experience overall, the tougher opposition. Chandler's had 1 fight in the UFC. Norma Dumont continues her win streak. She wins by decision.
You got who winning by decision?
Norma Dumont.
Norma Dumont. All right. So I don't understand this, dude. There's a lot of people that like Chelsea Chandler here, and I don't know. I don't get it, dude. Like maybe I'm missing something, but she's got 1 fight in UFC. She beat Stolyarenko, who is literally 1-5, in the UFC. Her only win was Jessica Rose Clark. She's a bully. Like, that's really what she is. She reminds me of like a Tanya Evinger. That's not disrespecting Tanya Evinger, because I think Tanya Evinger is a super tough fighter, but she's not like super athletic. She just kind of loads up on her strikes. She kind of pushes forward, and it's always to a means to an end. She's always trying to lock you down on the cage, clinch you up, and try to drag you to the floor. And then when she gets on top control, she'll get some good ground and pound, because she is kind of a bully. But if she doesn't get that, you're either stuck with like a pummeling drill with her on the cage, where it's just a boring fight where you're jockeying position. Norma Dumont, I don't know how people are overlooking her in this spot. I mean, I know she's the favorite, so she's not being overlooked too much. But at the end of the day, to me, she's better everywhere. The only place that she's not better, I don't think she's as strong as Chandler. Outside of that, she's the much smoother striker. She's the better grappler. She's got the better technique. She's got the far better level of competition. Like, I'd be surprised if Norma Dumont loses this fight. I really would. But I see a lot of the market that like Chandler in this fight, and I don't see it. Like, I watched all her film. There's nothing about her that impresses me, except for she just likes to push a hard pace, but she doesn't really do nothing with it when she has it. So I'm going Norma Dumont, same thing, by decision. All
right, next fight in the card. Don't know much about these guys. Ottman, the Bulldozer, that's a good nickname. The Bulldozer, Azatar, Francisco Prado. Both of these guys have 1 fight losing streaks. Azatar losing their Frivola and that wasn't too long ago. That was a nice knockout.
Nasty
knockout. And then and Prado losing to Malarkey, who's just one of those guys that when you walk into a bar, you do not want to get it.
Who? Malarkey. Yeah, I know.
That's one.
He's drinking that Seagram VO.
Yeah.
You know.
That really, you see him at probably a bar named after him, Malarkey's.
Yeah.
At the bar drinking, smash one of those thick beer glasses.
Seagram VO. You know, I said that because there was this Irish guy that used to come into the bar that I used to bartend at when I was younger, and he used to go, "Give me 3 fingers of VO, my friend."
Malarkey's tough. Malarkey's tough. So they're both coming off of losing streaks, and that's both of them. That's their first loss. But that was Prado's debut. Was losing to Malarkey. Not an easy guy to go inside the first one. This fight's a pick'em. It's -105, -115. I'm gonna go with Azatar, and I don't know how he's gonna win the fight, but you know what? I'm gonna go by 3rd round stoppage.
All right. You know, the thing with Prado is, listen, I like the kid. I think he's got a decent ceiling. I don't know much about how high it is yet. He's still young. He's only 21 years old. But if you look at his 11-1 record, you guys can't be distorted by that. He has not fought good competition at all, and that's not his fault. You know what I mean? But it's just he hasn't. I've looked all these guys up. I checked in on all these guys. Yeah, it's all regional guys. But the thing that people are looking at, they're looking at 11-1. He's got all finishes. They're like, oh, he's finishing. So it's like if I take you and I bring you to the bowling alley, Frank's Bowling Alley, and you have a 10-0 record at Frank's Bowling Alley, it doesn't mean you're going to have a 10-0 record if you're going to, you know, fight in like an actual regional circuit. So not to say that there's circuits that are bum circuits, but they're no ways near the level. And it showed against Malarkey, a guy who obviously at 21 years old didn't mature into his man strength yet. He still mentally isn't mature yet. So he's got a lot to learn. Azatar is a guy who comes in hot right out of the gate. This guy throws heavy leather quick, but his tempo seems to come down, you know, as the fight goes on, and that's what Prado needs to do. But my problem with Prado is he mentally mature enough to understand, like, I need to weather a storm. Like, that all comes with cage time. That all comes with experience. Sometimes when you get these guys that come out of bat out of hell, and you're not experienced, you're not mature enough, you either want to meet them with fire, or you kind of just shell away. You know, so that's going to be interesting. It's really predicated on that first round, if Prado can escape the first round, and if Azatar ends up winning round 1 and maybe stealing round 2. I don't think it goes that far. I'm going to go Azatar, slight underdog by knockout, but I could see there's clear path for Prado to win this fight later on.
So Azatar by knockout?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that. All right, last fight on the card, Jung Young Park, the Iron Turtle, versus Albert Duraev. Duraev beat Nojukwani, lost to Buckley, had 2 wins before that against people I don't even know.
He's going to do it.
He's going to do it.
I can't get that out of my mind.
And then you got Jung Young Park, who's on a 3-fight winning streak, but Anders, was that Joseph Holmes that he beat? That was Joseph Holmes, right?
Joe Porn Holmes.
I don't even know how to say the last guy he beat. Tululian? I don't even know. Jung Young Park is the favorite at -160, but on pure gut instinct alone, I'm going to take Albert Duraev with the upset. I'm going to take the dog in this fight. I'm going to say Duraev with
He's not the dog.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
What do you mean he's not the dog? +130, Albert Duraev.
Oh, is he the dog? Check if that flipped. I thought check if it flipped.
There ain't nothing that flipped here, boy.
Check. Make sure that you're not. Did it flip?
No, it was +105, and now it's +130.
All right.
So it was a pick-em in the beginning, but
right.
I like Duraev as the dog here.
Yeah, so here's the thing with Duraev. If you look at his last fight against Nojukwani, a lot of people actually thought he lost that fight. You know what I mean? There's an argument to say that he did lose that fight. But because it was a split decision.
Yep.
And a lot of people argued that. When you look at both of their styles, though, you look at Jung Young Park, this is a guy who he's shown the ability to win in adversity. That's what I like about him. Like, he's not really great anywhere, but the guy wins. He finds ways to win, is what I'm trying to say. When you look at a guy like Albert Duraev, the guy has that one dominant suit where if he does take you down, he does get top control. He laces up your legs. He's got that like C-level Dagestan style. You know what I mean?
C-level.
Yeah, but
not even B.
Nah, he's like C-level. It's to have their style though, dude.
know.
You know what I mean? So, but he understands that way of life, on the ground. But the problem I do have with him is he is a little bit chinny. But don't look into that too much either, because his 3 times he's been knocked out, which was obviously against Buckley, he got knocked out. But before that, he didn't get knocked out for almost a decade. So those other knockouts were way, way, way back then. You know, so his path to victory here is he's got to drag this to the floor. He's got to get top control. Jung Young Park does have a good ability to grapple defensively, but his path is going to have to be on the feet against Derive, and I just don't think he's going to give him airspace.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with Derive too. I'm going to go.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
We're only on the wrong side of the McKinney fight. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Watch my boy McKinney knock out this guy.
He might. What else we got?
He's due. Nothing, man. Just make sure there's a link below on here in our description if you guys want to sign up and try us out. Try out the MadLabMMA.com. You know what we do? DFS wagers. We have a great MMA community, man. I don't even think we say it enough. What a great group of guys we have. I mean, just being in Fight Night Discords and talk with everybody who's posting what they're drinking, what they're barbecuing, what they're reading, excited for the fights. There was a lot of guys in the Discord this Saturday night.
We have a couple names. We're like behind. We got to make 3 names this week. We got to make one for Brent Dexter,
one for Derek,
and one for Dyke.
And one for Jeff Dyke, right?
Yeah.
All right, we named
so
those.
Guys, 2 weeks ago, I was telling you guys I was going to do. I just haven't had time. So we're going to get your names out this week.
We named Brandon Moore.
Bro, Brandon the Butcher Moore.
Brandon the Butcher. Name. They get a nickname when they hit the big one.
Yeah.
Brandon the Butcher got a nickname. But, man, a lot of guys were in the Discord saying, like, man, you know, forget about the wagers in the DFS.
It's just a great community.
I just love being here watching the fights with you guys.
It's like hanging, bro. It's legitimately. I'm not
hanging with the guys.
I notice when people aren't in there, like during fight nights. Like I notice it because I look forward to coming into my Discord and seeing the guy. It's almost like I'm hanging out with all my friends on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
You know. So before we do go though, we do got one special thing. We got Christine's dog pick of the week, which is on a 4-fight win streak.
She's on 4 weeks in a row with picking the right side of a dog.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
So here we go with Christine.
She's been putting in the work, too. I got to give her the credit.
She's putting in a lot of work. She's a godsend to the company.
I watched the DFS show she did with you last week, and, you know, it was great.
She's very enjoyable. I notice when she's not in there. Because sometimes when a dog loses, she get daddles out of the Discord.
She strays. All right, there you have it. Once again, we have this new partnership with RPS. We're so excited about it. So we're going to be getting the football contest starting preseason. So
we're going to have a
couple weeks away.
We're going to have an introductory rate, you know, that we'll advertise, you know, sooner than later, probably a couple weeks before. So stay tuned for that. But it's something you guys listen. I mean, you want to talk about having a full-blown weekend of nonstop action with a great Discord, a great community. You go MMA right to football. This is going to be the first combat sports company that's a complete one-stop shop for the weekend. So,
let's go.